Good evening again. It is Sissy with Sissy's Cards and Crafts. Thank you for joining me in my craft room tonight. Please sign on or leave a comment, say hi, comment on this product, what your weather's like, where you're from, all that lovely stuff, and join me in doing the crafts. So I have been doing all week the I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Eastern Ontario, Canada. I keep forgetting to do that. But I am doing the Waterside Retreat, using this rather, and I've created a series of cards that I have done instructions for. It's on my blog on sissyscardsandcrafts.com. You can find the instructions. This is a suite that is in the May to August catalog. Sorry, I've had a long day today, guys. I've been out in the garden, and we kind of, just to sideline for a minute, a funny little story. I have a little garden pond, and I have a koi that has 3 years old, 4 years old maybe now. Put him out in the pond, got 2 other fish. They're not koi. The name has escaped me what they're called, but they are quite large, but this long. And somehow something got into my pond last night, knocked the fountain over. By the time I got up this morning, there was only maybe about 3 inches of water left, so enough for the fish to be alive. But it was also quite murky. I couldn't find the fish, so I was, thinking they had been murdered in the night. But they are good. But I've spent my day trying to get that sorted, and, still a bit of kerfuffled. But anyways, I have, like I said, created the instructions. You can print them out. They are all here. And so I've given the instructions for the first 2 cards. This one we actually just cased from the catalog. Case, copy, and share everything. So one of the designers from Stampin' Up! Had created this and put it in the catalog. I had altered it a bit here for the sentiment piece. So again, look at the instructions to find that. This is a great set for, so here's to a new chapter. And that's a great sentiment for retirement. These are also great masculine cards or just beachy themed cards. It's quite nice. This was the one we did last night. We used the dies to create the chair. We've given it some dimension. We colored it with the blending brushes and the ink. We did some other coloring here with the blender brush or blender pens, and then made that a Father's Day card. So those are the 2 that we've done so far. Tonight is a little bit different. So again, using the suite, which is the stamps and dies and designer series paper. And then we are going to use, again, still going to use the some of the in color stuff. But we're also going to use some other dies, which I had out here. These are an oldie but a goodie, the stylish shape dies. So these are quite, like I say, they've been around for a while. Hope they stick around. But you get circles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 circles. I think 6 squares, 5 squares. Maybe it's only 5. No, 6 circles. And then 4 banner pieces. So we could have used that for our banner last night, but we did it in a different way. So we're going to use these. We're actually going to use, I believe, this circle here. And I wanted, nope, the largest circle. I wanted the 3-inch circle there. And these are quite unique, and I'll show you why when we cut them out. So, all right, we've got that. And then we're going to use another piece of the scenery piece from the designer series paper. So we had used the one last night that we layered on top of. And then tonight, this one is going to kind of just stand on its own, but we're going to do a couple things with it. I have my scrap pieces for doing our stamping, and then I have my card base, and we're going to place this on the top. And then we have this piece for the inside. And then there is this lovely, and I don't know if you can see, there's a bit of the shimmer there. So you can get, this is called the shimmer paper, in color shimmer paper. It is really quite nice. Comes in our 3 different colors. We have berry blush, or all of the colors rather, barely blush, crisp cantaloupe, golden glow, hydrangea hue, and peaceful pine. You'll notice the colors are always listed on the back. This item number is 167766. You only get 1 sheet of each. That is kind of the downfall. So I've been very carefully using it because it is very, very beautiful. And you can just tell with that. Maybe you can't. So you can see this is the regular cardstock, the peaceful pine, and then the glitter cardstock. Okay, so we're going to use that as well. All right. So first off, let me show you how cool these dies are. So I believe they'll work. Yeah. This one will get cut on the mini cut and emboss. The other one I'm going to have to use my larger one for. All right. So again, our base plate, cutting plate, and I'm going to flip it over so we get both sides used. Then I want to center on here so I can get the nice picture that I want. I want some of the water, I obviously want the cabin, I want the trees. I might just offset the cabin a little bit like that. So I'm going to put that on my cutting plate and then the top plate on, and then we're going to roll it through. And what is going to happen? Obviously, we're going to cut the circle out, the cabin. You can see we've cut that out and it gives this nice stitched edge all the way along. But also it's left a nice stitched edge on this part as well. So that is the effect we want to have for the next step of our card. If you are looking for a set of dies that is just going to last you for a long time, and it's going to be something you reach for many different reasons, consider the stylish shapes, because you will use it and it is so handy for many different things. Okay, so first off, I'm going to, got my regular card base here, and then I've got the card front here that I'm going to layer on. And I've done it just 1/8 of an inch smaller, so I've got that nice border all the way around. So I'm going to glue on, and I just want to, like I've been saying all week, is you don't need a whole lot of glue on the DSP, on any of our paper, but especially the DSP. So I just want to make sure I do the edge here. And I'm going to adhere this, making sure I get it centered and straight. One thing I want to mention, when you're cutting this paper, try to get it even. So now it's obviously not completely even, but it would have looked, because I trimmed some off of the one side first, it would have looked a lot worse if I hadn't done that. Okay, so now I'm going to take this stylish shape die and I want to place it center. So center in the middle of the card, but up to the top third. So kind of about there, looks good. I'm just going to put my tape. The tape we used last night still works. So there we go. Might need a little extra rub, but going to place that on there, and now I'm going to cut that out. I do have to use, like I say, my regular size machine. It's too big to move over here, so I'm going to turn around. My chair is going to squeak. I apologize. Bear with me a second, and I'm going to just quickly cut this. So like I say, the mini cut and emboss is great because it just fits on your table and you can just pop it and use it anywhere. Travels well. The big cut and emboss, which I don't have the Stampin' Up! One. I have the old Sizzix one, and it works great, but it's a big honking machine. Okay, so there we go. We've cut that out. We're going to pop that out, and we've got both we've cut out. So I can keep these and use that. Like, that's a great, both of them are great, but that's completely amazing. So I just kind of stick them in here and keep them to use again. This might just come in handy. Now, this has basically stitched it together. I don't need to try to pull it apart or anything and stick glue in there. I think we're good. Okay, so now I'll give that another burnish there. Gold. Now what we're going to do is take this piece and we're going to put it in here. And what I want to do is so I've cut it. It's the same length as the card here, but the width I've done just a 1/4 of an inch longer so I could score it, and then I can insert it into my card. So I'm going to just line it up with the fold, and I want to glue it like this. It might seem a little bit awkward to you, but I'll show you why I'm doing that in a second. Now, this paper can handle the glue a little bit more, and you do need a little bit more with it than obviously the DSP. Okay, just make sure it's in all the way. There we go. Using your bone folder helps kind of smear that glue around in there. All right. So I also am going to use some gray granite ribbon. It is variegated trim. And that is why I've left that edge there, because I'm just going to put my ribbon there and it basically is going to hide it. So I think I'm going to have it. So again, lay it down like that. Try to keep it flat. And then do my little bow. And I want it up by where the circle is. Okay. Now, some people, to try to keep that flat, you can try to keep your fingers in there, which is what I was trying to do. Or you can use reverse tweezers and just capture the knot there, and that will put enough pressure on it that you can, so we're going to deal with that elastic. So then you can tie it. It's kind of like that third hand for yourself to tie a bow. So very handy. Of course, I have my whole Cricut set. We do have reverse tweezers, Stampin' Up! It comes with the embossing kit, the tray, and you get the tray, the reverse tweezers, the what do they call it? The Emboss Buddy or whatever. It removes the static from. I'm gonna redo this. Maybe if I do it on the side here, I'll like it a little bit better. Again, my hands are had a rough day. And then I did cut the grass and did some gardening. This is such nice weather to do this stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm a little bit tired. Do you like to garden? Let me know what you do like to garden if you do. Flowers, veggies, big gardens, little gardens, all that stuff. We've got some flowers going. We have all sorts of garden plants around the yard. And then we have some tomatoes. We like to grow tomatoes because we use a lot of tomatoes. I think I cut them totally the wrong size. Okay. Now, let's wind this back on here. It's a very versatile trim. There's a lot on the roll because it's actually doubled. So there's 2 rolls of ribbon on there, which makes it nice. Okay, and then I'm going to take a glue dot, a mini glue dot. Try to find one there. And I'm going to use that to hold this down. So I'm just pulling it off and then just sticking it basically under the knot there of that ribbon. And that will hold it. Okay. If you really are anxious about it, you can use a little bit, and I believe this is from Paper Pumpkin, a little thin strip. It doesn't have to be so thin, of the tear and tape. You can just stick that inside the card as well. And then hold the glue would work, but it's going to be something that, where did the end go? I must have sent it flying there, the backing. It would seep through and it'd take a long time to dry. So that's quick ways of doing that. All right. Bing, bang, boom. That's done. Now we can take our picture and we can put it in the center. And then we're going to glue it on the sparkly layer. So I prefer to just do it this way because if I don't know, it just works better for me to kind of, but you can obviously position it, lay this down and then position it, but that's going to glue in there. There we go. Now I have 3 pages, and then this page will be the part that I'm going to stamp on. So for the other front of it here, we're going to put a sentiment that says, "Have a great birthday." Now, this one doesn't come with, we don't have a die to punch it out. So I'm just going to show you how you can actually kind of fussy cut a stamp. So pull this out. And this one is fairly easy to do because there's not a lot of, the way they've printed it, it's fairly straightforward. So I'm going to take my white paper, my Peaceful Climb ink, stamp. And again, with these new felt pads, you have to make sure you walk it around the pad. Don't just keep tapping in the same area. Tap all over the pad there, and that'll give you a better. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're basically just going to, well, let me just kind of quickly crop this out. And then I can show you. Okay, so I'm just going to go around and round off the top of it. Let's just have a happy birthday. Then I just going to go down here straight and then straight across birthday and then straight crossed at the T. So have a great birthday. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that again, but I'm going to do it with the hydrangea hue, because we have hydrangea hue in this. So I'm just going to glue this on. Now, sentiment dyes are really helpful. There's all sorts. There's different ones you can get. I have a slew of them. I could have found one that worked, I'm sure. I didn't have any this shape, but I could have found something. There's, of course, some right in the stylish shapes, but I thought, you know what, let's just try to do this to show that there are other options. So then I'm just going to cut it down like that, and then straight across like that. There we go. Easy, easy. And I'm just going to kind of put it down here. But I also did take one of those prairie grass stamps. And I did one of them as well. So my golden glow. And you notice I just left that one stamp right on my block because I'll clean both of these at the same time. There we go. Just pull it out and clean it now while I'm talking about it. Stampin' mist. I say that mist is really helpful. Now, water works well, but this, I have revived some stamps that just lose their stickiness with that Stampin' mist. It works quite well. All right, so I'm just gonna cut that out. Get the die for it. Let's put these stamps back. Right, and the dies. What do they do with the dies? Oops, just about lost that piece. There we go. Like I've said before, I tend to just ditch the one envelope and take the other one, and then I've got everything all in one. I don't have to keep looking for two different sets of things. Okay, I'm just gonna pop that on there. What did I do with my tape? Oh, there it is. Try to get one more use out of this tape before I have to cut some more, use more. All right. So this card is quite unique. It's got that nice extra page with this silver layer, or not silvery, but sparkly layer. Easy enough to do. Adds quite a bit of interest and makes our card quick and easy. All right, I think that tape is done. Put my die back. Okay, got to get a magnetic sheet for that. All right, so we're going to just kind of place this here, and I'm just going to glue it down. But again, I'm going to have a look and see where I need it. So I'm going to basically glue this bottom part down and just that leaf there. So this leaf here, or fawn, or oh, what are they called? the one. Oh, word is escaping me. I am so tired. Okay, but I've done 3 lives, so I am proud of myself for that. I'd really like to pick up membership and get viewership going so I can start a new career path, at least make a little bit of money doing something I thoroughly enjoy and doesn't take a lot of energy out of me. My other career, it was a lot. Okay, so I think I'm going to use the green again. I'm using a lot of the green, but it just seems to look so nice. And we want to do 3s. So I'm going to put 2 up there. And then I'm going to just add another one right down here on that sentiment piece. And there we go. I'm not going to do the inside piece tonight. I think we all get how that'll work. I might, no, probably stamp something again down there. But have a great birthday. All right. So that is card number 3. Thank you for joining me again tonight. Stop in tomorrow night. So tomorrow night we have a very unique card. And you might have to refer to another video that I did for tomorrow's card. But it's a card, but it also has a different feature to it. So I think it's quite interesting. That is not going in there. I'm not going to waste my time with that tonight. All right. Thank you again. Take care. See you tomorrow.